Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I have Jailhouse prison phone call tapes of Todd Kohlhepp that I've been sharing on this channel, and I'm going to share another phone call he has with a supportive friend named David. This particular phone call is very fascinating. Todd Kohlhepp, South Carolina's most notorious serial killer, spending life in prison for murdering 7 people, suspected of murdering more. Check out this conversation right here with David, and then we will further discuss.
To accept this call, press 1 now. You can now send your...
Hello?
Hey, Todd. How are you?
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I wish I wasn't.
Yeah. So how is everything going down there right now?
It's okay. They finally let us have store. I was a little surprised. They had locked the place down for about 5 days
Uh-huh.
and had not let us have store. And then somehow they opened it back up, so I was able to go ahead and buy envelopes.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm back to writing my letters like normal.
Uh-huh.
Place is different, I'll tell you. It's the statewide PC is not fun.
It's what?
The location they have me at is the statewide protective custody.
Yes.
They're worried that something's going to happen to me or I'm going to do something to somebody else. So they put me in protective custody, which is a closed system.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in here with like 27 other people.
Yes.
Would much rather be on the yard.
Yes.
But I'm being told I'm going to be here for probably 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So unpack my stuff and relax. Not going anywhere.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're working on it. I'm just trying to get my head out of here. This place is pretty much dark and cold,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just mind messing with your head.
Is it in any way comfortable, or is your room comfortable, or how is the situation?
14 by 7 room. It's real long.
Uh-huh.
You got two beds, but you only got one person per room. You put all your property on the second bed.
Okay.
There's a tiny little desk. I mean, it's okay. It's just depressing.
Is there a toilet in the room, or is outside you have to go outside to the toilet, or how is it?
No, they've got one in the room. Everyone's got
In
their
the
own.
room. Okay.
Then you got showers outside.
Okay.
And then you got like one phone for the whole dorm, and the phone is on wheels. So people basically, you can, like I just rolled it into my room.
Yes.
So you can actually have a phone call and actually hear somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I just rolled, but you only get one call per day.
Yes.
Stores once a week. We cannot go to store next week or tomorrow because they're doing inventory. But yeah, you get to go to the store three times a month. Doing that, just trying to get stuff going. Trying to get used to this place.
Yeah.
The people are you know, I seriously thought after doing all that time in Arizona that this would be a cakewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, this place is nothing like Arizona. Nothing.
Yes. Well, that's what I was, concerned about earlier. That it might be quite different.
Oh, it's totally. The people act
It's a
differently.
different part of the country and a different attitude, different historical background.
They're not very historical background, and they're not very educated.
Uh-huh.
Most of these guys didn't even pass high school.
Mm-hmm.
So then here I come walking in with 2 college degrees. Yeah, I no tattoos. Yeah, I don't blend at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just
Well,
basically.
I wanted to mention something very quickly. I got your letter. I haven't responded to it yet.
Okay.
But I want to mention something that happened in Bangkok to me that taught me a big lesson.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a party at a pool one night, and because I'd been a swimmer and lifeguard, some guys came up and they said, well, why don't we race? And my girlfriend said, no, don't do it. But it was very hot, so I thought, okay, just for a minute, and I got my bathing suit on, and I went racing, with a guy. Okay, no sooner did I get in the water, we went one length of the pool. I thought we were going to go about 10 lengths or something, because it wasn't that big. And the guy got out. What he was doing was only manipulating me to show that he could control me. Now, I hadn't been around people like that before that were very angry. But any time that somebody challenges us, or challenges me, or taunts me, or insults me, it is an attempt to manipulate and control. And so I learned that I have to be very careful about not responding to anything like that, because the meaning of that is usually to make a fool of you or to get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that can happen, and it can happen in any place. And so we have to be very careful never ever to respond to insults, taunts, challenges, you see, and that we don't always know where it comes from. It might not even be coming from the people that are doing it. It might be coming from some other place. nice that wants to embarrass us or hurt us, you see. So that we have to be very, very careful never to respond to that. And sometimes I say, okay, we just go to my room and, to get away from the situation. And, of course, that means that they challenge you like you're a coward or afraid or whatever, but that's okay. Just understand that those are manipulations, that people want to control you and often get you in trouble.
Well, you've got a bunch of people here who have low self-esteem, and they play these little games, and it's all about ego.
Yes.
Yes. For instance, my crimes were high profile.
Yes.
A lot of these guys want to be high profile. They like the fact of being known. I don't want to be known. I would prefer this to fade away and be forgotten about.
Well, also, Todd, there's another issue, is that some people have done much less, and they're serving the same time, you understand? And so they can be very resentful about that. So there are several issues. So the thing is always being able to avoid any kind of confrontation or any type of, and it's very easy for people to trick us into those type of things, you see? Because we're not expecting it, and we're often not prepared for it. So I just wanted to mention this to you, and I may write you more about that later, because that is a very difficult situation, and it can happen when we're in any kind of group of people.
Well, I'm trying to avoid anything in here.
Yes.
I spend most of my time by myself. I mean, I open my door, but I'm writing my letters.
Yes.
I'm not sharing a whole lot as far as, we're not bragging about it to anything. Yeah, we're you want to talk, that's great, but I don't really share a whole lot. I live in my business and stay out of people's business.
Yes.
And what you're talking about, I've already seen in here. People do that kind of stuff. You are correct.
Yeah.
So,
well, it can take a while before we actually understand the system and everything that's going on, and also the people and who they are and why they behave the way they do. For example, that situation where the people offered you something, you don't know where that came from. You say,
nope.
May not have come from them. It may come from another source, you see. So everything like that you have to be extremely, extremely alert and careful about. And not only to protect yourself, but to do what is right, because maybe a lot of people would like for you to make mistakes, you see, and that would put you into a more serious situation.
Oh, they thrive on it. No, all I'm trying to do is do my time, read my books, stay out of people's eyesight.
Right.
This place is not fun. These people are. I mean, these guys are mental.
Yes.
I mean, they got them stuck in PC, but they're in PC because they're mental.
Yes, but you're going to find that almost everybody in prison is in that for that situation, and everybody has come from a very unfortunate family background. They have many mental problems, and so that is a very big issue. So one has to be very quiet and very careful and take a long time to so that you're absolutely familiar who you're dealing with and who they are. And you can't take anything for face value.
No.
You see.
No, I'm trying to stay out of sight, out of mind. So, you walk out here, and as far as I'm concerned, there's 27 people that are, I mean, they're not your friend. They're here, they're trying to smile and all, but they're not your friend. So, we're trying to avoid that. But it's an interesting world. This unit is worse because this is the unit of people who do not know how to adapt and deal with the regular person who's on the yard. Yeah.
Well, to some extent, everybody in that type of situation has these problems.
Yes.
And it's just whether it's more or less. And so that is something that you have to be very careful and take your time in dealing with. Another quickie for you was that my father was a gambler. One of the meanings of being a gambler is that the person has a very low self-esteem. And this is quite common in anyone that comes from a family background like ours, okay? And so every year he would go out and gamble. He was famous for being a good loser. People used to say, gosh, Ray, I don't know how you lose that kind of money like that. But what they didn't know was that every spring he would come home, he would sit down, and he would go in a state of depression where he had to be put into the state mental hospital every summer. He would spend several months there, and then when he got out, he would say, well, that's never going to happen again. Next year's going to be a big change. That went on for about 40 years. The same thing. every year, because in order for things to be a big change, the person has to understand why they're doing these things, why they're in that situation, and what new things they have to learn in order for that not to happen. And this my father never ever learned. I'm not even sure he was aware that that kind of information exists. So this is going to be true, this process is going to be true of most of the people where you are. What they were doing, they didn't understand why, and they repeated it. That went on in their families and particularly in their own lives. So that is really the process that we have to deal with now, is that why are we in this situation? What is it that we didn't understand? And what is it that we have to learn that is new? And the learning of new things is the very difficult part, because that's not part of our background or our experience. And so that's very difficult. Where are we going to learn that? So over a period of time, if you would like, and you have any questions, I will try to write to you about anything that you would like to understand. And that I had to learn as a child, because I understood by the time I was 5 years old that my family had a lot of problems. I just didn't understand at the time that it was 24/7. I thought they were just occasional. But when I came back from Asia, I realized it was 24/7, that I was dealing with some really crazies and some very dangerous people. So that maybe you will want to talk, and that it's not a question that many people think, well, I'm going to change my life now. Because in order to change our life, we have to have a lot of new information. And we have to have new behavior and new understanding and new feelings. And so that you might want to think about, and perhaps we can work on that and understand why your history is the way it is. And
I wish we could have had a discussion before.
But as my experience, people like Gene, my father, were never able to understand that or change things.
Yeah, my mom was not much different. She wasn't going to change. She put up a good
image. Your mother had the same problems of abuse. Ruby used to chase her around the house with a butcher knife. So
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Okay, we have 60 seconds, Todd.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, I love you, and thank you for your call, and I'll be writing to you, and you write anything you want to discuss, and I'll try to answer you, okay?
Excellent, thank you. Hope you have a good weekend. Tell Janice I said hey.
I will.
I'm just getting through it. It's just trying to understand all this.
Yes.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
You're doing right in keeping a low profile, and you have to understand that with as much difficulty as you've had in the past, it's going to take some time. It's going to take time to understand those and time for your feelings to change, okay? Because a person can want to change, but it takes time for it to understand these things and for deep change to take place.
I agree.
Okay? Okay. So love you, and then we're thinking.
Interesting conversation. Talks about manipulating behavior. David is a supportive friend. Conversations that I played before on this channel regarding Todd Kohlhepp. Todd has spoken to David before. Todd, we're getting into the mind of Todd, how he thinks, how he communicates with supporters and people he's affiliated with, more or less, in these prison phone call conversations. I have lots of them. Check out my Todd Kohlhepp playlist. I want to know your thoughts on this conversation, which is for educational purposes only, to bring insight into who Todd Kohlhepp is. I'll be posting more Jailhouse videos, phone calls of Todd Kohlhepp soon, so stay tuned.